Hi everybody, Phil Easy here. Today I'm back in the greenhouse. It's not so nice out, so I love hanging out in here. I've had a lot of questions from you guys on my cucumber video. I'll post it up here so you guys can check it out if you haven't already. Lots of questions, so I decided I'm going to do a little bit of an update on that video. Won't be as focused on the pruning, but it's going to talk about some of the things I've learned since I've made that video with the cucumber growing. Again, tips and tricks to make it easy. Let's check out the cucumbers. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how do you know exactly when to pick your cucumbers? Let's take a look at this one. You can technically pick them whenever you want to eat them. They'll be fine. But if you want to wait for the perfect maturity, you wait until this flower at the end falls off. Once that falls off, it's good to go. Try to stay on top of picking your cucumbers, because by picking this one, it's going to promote further growth up the cucumber here to the top, where we've got all the new ones coming out of, and we'll be growing more and more and more. As you'll see by the end of the season, if things go well, I'll have them right up to the top and maybe start bringing them back over. We'll see. The other thing that I noticed in my video was something that I'm going to change my advice on. I didn't quite realize. There's three kinds of cucumber plants. There are the ones that have mostly male flowers with a few female flowers. There's ones that have mostly female flowers with only a few male flowers. And then there's ones that don't need any pollination and will only have female flowers. Typically, the most common one is the one that produces a lot of male flowers and only a few females. Those are the cheapest, I think, to breed and to sell. In my previous video, I talked about when we're pruning, and I'll take an example here. There's that leaf that I would prune back, and I would take that off. But I think I also mentioned take all but one of these flowers out here. Depending on the type of cucumber you have, that might be the right move. If you have one that doesn't need pollination, then yes, I would agree with that. If you don't have that and you have the more common seeds, then my current advice, and my practice as well, is to leave all of the clusters of flowers on. Still prune the suckers, but don't prune the clusters of flowers. And by doing that, we have more potential for pollination to occur, because we'll have more likely male flowers. They tend to come earlier. And we'll get a better fertilization of these female flowers, which then grow into these cucumbers. Just leave them and let the pollination flowering occur. Once you see them dying back and such, then yes, of course, take away any extra growth that isn't necessary and direct that energy up the top. I'm unsure if I talked about pruning the bottom leaves of the cucumbers as well. These are still quite healthy. There are no signs of yellowing or damage or disease or anything like that. So for now, I leave that on. But once that starts to change, I will remove the bottom few leaves, and that's going to help create the more airflow in here. Another thing I've picked up on lately is you don't want to let your cucumbers get overrun and a tangled mess full of nothing but leaves, because the pollinators are looking for the flowers, or smelling, or however they find them. They're trying to get to the flowers, and that's part of the pollination. It's needed. So if you have a big jumbled mess, it's going to be more difficult for them to navigate through that. If you have more open space, then you're going to have an easier time, or they're going to have an easier time getting to and pollinating your flowers, producing more fruit. The other thing I'm trying this year is mulching. I've done a lot of mulching because it does get so hot here, and you do want to keep the soil moist around your cucumbers. I'm mulching on purpose to try to help with the water retention. The other thing with aggressively pruning your cucumbers is you're going to keep more open space for airflow. That becomes more important as your season progresses, because it gets warmer usually in most climates and more humid, and what that can bring with it is powdery mildew. That's that whitening of the leaves that can happen. It's not the end of the plant, but you can minimize that by pruning and not letting your your plants get too overrun with themselves. So there you have it, everybody. There's a few things that I've picked up on the way about cucumbers. I wanted to share it with you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and smash the thumbs up. It's really important you smash that thing. What that does is that gets these videos out to other people who might be able to benefit from some of these easy tips and tricks. So thanks everyone, really appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, bye. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah.